Alrighty, well, good morning, gentlemen, or afternoon, or whatever time this is. Let me make sure we do a little prep work here so that I know you're ready to do what we're going to do here. You need to work together with this video. So this is going to be kind of a group session, me by video, and then you guys holding some conversations and doing some together work. So make sure that you've planned a time. You can't just each watch the video and done. And by the way, that's one of the things I'm really working for here is do the max, right? So it's kind of like, I could do a workout. It would be a very wimpy workout because I don't really like to work out, right? So I could I could do the minimum and call it done. But what kind of results do I get, right? So the same thing with your work. Put your best effort even when it's a little hard and painful. Keep putting that forward because that's how we grow. Okay, that's my motivation moment. Here we go. The first thing that I want to do is to look back at some of the vocabulary that you found as you were reading. And I want you to go through a couple steps, so I'm going to show you those. And by the way, you'll be stopping this video and doing some activities. So after I set you up for this, then hit pause and do this. Okay? I'm back here in the last chapter. I want you all to solidly be working in, chapter 5 only, Joe Flom. But I'm working back here so that I can give you an example, but I'm not stealing any of the words that you might use in case I find one. You're like, oh, that was my word. That was my. I'm not gonna steal your thunder. So I'm gonna use the last chapter to show you what to do in chapter 5. Got it? Okay. So I'm looking at some words that maybe I highlighted, noted in my notes that I wasn't 100% familiar with. I'm going to take one of those words and I'm going to go to the word and phrase tool. I'm linking this in the email if you're having trouble finding it, but if you Google word and phrase tool, it will come up. Okay? Now, you've seen this before. A lot of times when it comes up on all genres, and if you forget to switch it, it's going to mess you up. So right away, get here, switch to academic. Okay? Now I'm going to type in this section here. So I found the word in the last chapter, embodiment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in here. And remember, if you only put one word, sometimes you need an extra word after it just to make it work for some reason. So I search, and here's what I find. Embodiment is discipline specific. Interestingly, dogs are. There's probably some funny reasons for that. But that means that it's going to only regularly occur in particular disciplines, right? So if I click on embodiment, I find out in the humanities and philosophy it's really high, but it's kind of low across the board otherwise. That could be an interesting word, but I'd like you to find one that is either yellow or green. That means it is moderately high to very high frequency. If it's yellow, that's wonderful because you're going to encounter that word frequently, but you'll probably already know a lot of the words in the academic section. They're yellow, so a lot of them will be green. So let's try another one. Going back to the cloud reader here. What about constraint? Okay, so I come back over here and I say constraint. I hit search. It's green, right? So now I'm interested. Now to see anything about it, I have to click the word itself. So click there. Okay. Look, it is history, education, sociology, law, sciences, right? There's several definitions possibly. In this case, there are 3. So the act of constraining. Okay, well, I'd have to know what constraining means. We'll get there. A device that stops something from moving. Okay, like your seatbelt would be a constraint. Or the state of being physically constrained. Okay, now if you didn't know constraint, then you're going to need to just look up constrain, right? Or constraint. compel or force someone to a particular course of action. Okay, so if I go back here to, oh, sorry, the word was constraint. I think it was constrained when anyway, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. So the word is constraint, which could mean the act of constraining. Well, what does it mean to constrain? Well, I looked it over here. To compel or force something, or probably more likely this one, seriously restrict something, right? That's a good possibility. So then I go back to my, he learned constraint. Now, someone else probably wasn't constraining him, right? So what else could be the case? So you'd have to play with the definitions a little bit. Sorry, wrong page. All right, I'm going to try this again. I'm not happy.